It's the 22nd of January, and that means it is the final day of my notice period because I quit my job. I finished my placement 6 months before I'm supposed to. I'm a university student, and I said I'd do a 1-year placement with won't name the company. Don't intend to badmouth in this video, but with a Chinese Oriental grocery company. Let's say that, and it was a general management placement, and it was designed to teach me what they did as a company, to get me thinking about processes, procedures, and implementing. Well, we never got to that really, and learning what managers' responsibilities are. That was the fluff. The reality was just working in retail. My God, how boring is that? If you've ever done it, been a cashier, stacked shelves. I could have done this when I was 18. What's this got to do with my deal sourcing journey? Why am I telling you guys? Well, if I might be speaking to fellow deal sourcers here, potentially fellow investors who once started with a full-time job, and at some point you've got to realize when something is not fulfilling what you need. Money's got to keep coming in as you build up doing what you really love, the deal sourcing, at least unless you've got a very large safety net, if you're fortunate enough to have one, but I don't. Money's got to keep coming in, but I quit the job. So that's a pretty drastic measure, right? Okay, so let's get into why, shall we? First reason, without getting into too much detail, treated poorly. You know it when you're being disrespected, and some people can kind of take it, and some people, I guess have it in their inner psyche that people more senior to them can mistreat them because they're more senior and they know better. And I mentioned this is a Chinese Oriental grocery company, and in that sort of society it's very hierarchical, and people kind of know their place. I'm not someone who can adapt to that culture. I'm grateful in a way that I was bullied as a little kid, and I know not to take it anymore. Not saying there was bullying, I wouldn't go that far, but I know when I'm being disrespected, and other people can take it, but I don't need to ask permission to go to the toilet. Fuck that, right? Reason number 2, long hours. Honestly, I thought it would be a 9-to-5 kind of placement. Naive of me to think that. It's retail. It's a lot longer. I started off doing 8:30 till 6. Then they changed my shift pattern to 9:15 till 6:45. Been very difficult really to fit the deal sourcing in around that. Having said that, if I was completely content with the work, sort of could have managed, right? This is a multifaceted decision, but definitely long hours don't help. It is 8 hours a day contracted. The breaks are unpaid, but add in the walking to and back from work for about 20 minutes. It's well over 10 hours a day spent at the workplace, and that's been very difficult. Third reason, which follows on nicely from the hours, is that it wasn't what I expected. It wasn't what I thought I signed up for. maybe you can relate to this as well, in going for a job and seeing the description and they sell it to you and you think you're going to have all these responsibilities, etc., etc. Perhaps I should only blame myself about the hours. Probably should have been aware of that, but there are many more things that were different to what I expected. Like I said, I was expecting to go there, maybe be in an office, I'd look over the shop floor a little bit, I'd understand the process, maybe learn it for a couple of weeks, but then I'd start, understanding how to manage it, right? Looking at the process and maybe being asked to think, is there anything you think we could do better here? Or we've got a project that we're working on at the moment, we're bringing in a new change. Not even suggesting to me, because I know that's quite a lot to say to a student, you try and come up with a new idea for us. It's quite a lot for a company to do. They might think, well, we know better, but perhaps the student could implement a change that we've already decided should be made in a new, barcode system or whatever. It's up to you, Elliot, to show this to the cashiers, to lead the team and help them to understand the new way of doing it. Well, there was none of that. Have you worked in a supermarket? And if you have, it was that with an addition of visiting the other supermarkets in the country and doing the same thing. And every now and then being asked to make a presentation or a project just based on your own ideas about what you've seen. But that's a kind of independent project. It was with myself or with the other students as well. So what am I actually being taught here? Self-learning is all very well, but a couple of little bits and bobs alongside just working in a supermarket, this is not what I expected. It is all very well independent learning, but unfortunately that bit came from the top of the organisation. But the people I was working with day to day didn't really have a clue what all that malarkey was. So day to day, I was working underneath the lower level managers who just wanted me to get on with the job and be an extra number, be an extra piece in the jigsaw or cog in the machine. When I did my project, the first time I was allowed to work on it, I went up for a few hours, started ideating, started making a plan, started making a structure for the presentation. After 3 hours, I was asked, have you finished your project? So, very limited extra work, and the extra work that I was given was not very well understood. So I was treated poorly, I had long hours, and it wasn't what I expected. Okay, so more importantly, what are the lessons learned? What are the lessons I've learned? Maybe you can relate to this. Maybe you can take some of the lessons I've learned into your place of work. So the first lesson that I've learned is to not put up with a situation that you're unhappy with. And that sounds really corny, but you shouldn't do it. And you know deep down if you're not happy with something. But it's really hard to change it. It takes a lot of guts, and I wish I'd made this change sooner, instead of getting halfway through the placement. Unfortunately, I think most people in this world put up with a situation that they're not happy with for their entire life. I think it ages people. I think you can see the toll it has on them, on their face, on their mood, on their emotions. I hope and I think that from making this decision to not put up with a situation that I'm unhappy with, I've gained some power and control back over my life. I want to be holding the reins. I don't want to be the horse that's being whipped. I want to be holding the reins of my own life. Genuinely, employment is secure, yada yada yada, structured process, and I'm sure it's great for some people, but I just don't think it's for me. Perhaps I've had a really bad experience, but I really don't think it's for me. And I'm speaking to, I imagine, entrepreneurial types here. Long term, you want to be in employment? It's somebody else dictating your life. When you go on holiday, like there was a certain section of time that, you know, lawfully can't be enforced, but we're strongly advised not to go on holiday. It's when you work, it's when you go on holiday, it's who you speak to. You weren't really to be having conversations at work, you know, in the aisles or something. It was work on a separate aisle was more productive. When to go to the toilet, like, for goodness sake, it's like. And then I was sent away to these other shops, to their timetable, and it's really not for me. Got power back over my life. Keep getting the power, and eventually, there's freedom. Second lesson is swallow your pride. I think I didn't make this decision earlier because you have to swallow your pride to recognize that you've made the wrong decision. I chose this placement. I sort of knew from the first couple of weeks that it wasn't going to be what I expected. But you think, oh, I don't want to be quick to judge, let's see how it goes. But everything just kept confirming that as the weeks rolled on. And then you ask, is this really it? Like, for how much longer can I tolerate this? And if you're asking those questions, then you know that something's got to change. So why wait to make that change? Swallow your pride, admit that you made the wrong decision, and move forward. I did start this process end of November, because I had to contact the liaise with the university. Would it be possible to change my placement? Okay, yes it would. Okay, right, let me find another job. I'll get onto that in a second. Let me find something else to do. Then I have to give my notice in, yada yada. So I started late November, and now the end of my annual leave is today. So that's the second lesson I've learned. Hopefully something you can take. You know, if you've made the wrong decision, you've got to recognize it. At the end of the day, don't be proud of the wrong decisions you make. Be proud to turn the tide and make them right again. Okay. Number 3. Trust your gut. Short one here, but yeah, you kind of know when something's wrong, don't you? And when people are too scared to then change what's wrong and do what I've done, which is hand my notice in, and yes, I was scared as well. Okay, don't want to come across as like some know-it-all at 21. That's stupid. But you see it all the time. There's people that are so scared of what would happen if they left their job that they don't listen to their gut, which is telling them that this is not right, you need to leave. And then we end up in chronic stress, and then people are taking antidepressants or worse, their lives. Sorry, I don't mean this to be really dark. But your gut feelings are telling you that you're in a horrible, horrible space now. So why are you worried about what would happen if you quit the job, which let's assume if you're in a similar case, it's the thing that's making you feel chronically stressed. You really think you're going to be in a worse place afterwards? Or are you going to feel relieved? I felt bloody relieved. So that's it. The key learnings from this experience for me: if you're treated poorly, long hours, job wasn't what you expected, and there are several other reasons. It just wasn't pushing me forwards. Like, I could do this job when I was 18, stacking shelves, being a cashier. What the hell? Complete waste of time. Don't put up with a situation you're not happy with. Swallow your pride. I know you've chosen to be in that place, but you can choose to make it right again, and trust your gut, I think, I know it sounds a bit wishy-washy, but like, I'm an anxious person. I do get anxious. I need to listen to that. Sometimes there's no real reason for it. It's just there, that chronic anxiety, and it's like, okay, take a walk, do all these things. But if it keeps coming back, and you know why it's there, it's because, the situation I'm in, I know it's not right. Then why stay? Why stay? Why stay trapped? So there's the 3 lessons. Alright, what happens next, okay? Elliot, you're 21, and now you're unemployed, and you've got a deal sourcing business, which, yeah, you've got a lovely YouTube channel, but it's not making you money. What the hell are you doing? So, as well as this placement job, I've been tennis coaching. It's kind of the main job I've had before this, and I'm doing more of it now. So alongside, I've been doing Sundays. Now I'm going to do 4 additional days. That gets me up to 19 and a half hours a week of group coaching. 19 and a half? Is that enough to pay? Yes. Tennis coaching is great, and it's paying me nearly double per hour what I was being paid to stack shelves. An argument against this decision as well: you've already done tennis coaching before, what are you learning additionally? I liaise with the company, with the uni, and as well as the 19 and a half hours on court, I will have off court responsibilities, learning about business management, which is to do with my course, but that'll be here, maybe in a cafe or wherever I need to be. I can jump on calls with them. I can maybe help with a few different. They've been honestly so open, so flexible. Elliot, whatever you want to do, whatever you want to learn about, you want to learn about the finance of the business, you want to learn about the marketing of the business, go for it. I'm not going to be tied into a rigid structure as I have been before. And well, 19 and a half hours versus 40 hours getting paid half. I'm nearly there. But I will also take on one-to-one clients. So yeah, if you're looking for tennis coaching lessons in northwest London, let me know. But you're not here for that. You're here for what happens next in Elliot Sykes Property. The thing I'm so passionate about, which is this business, driving it forwards. I'm starting to make some money from it. Helping people, helping vendors sell their property for a higher price, helping investors get a higher return without having to offer a very highly below market value. I see sister sale and lease option way. Very excited to get learning about that. So yeah, like literally everything else, as long as I'm not on the tennis court, right? So I will be on the tennis court maybe 25-30 hours. As long as I'm not on the tennis court, estate agent calls me, I can take it. I'm not like on a till going, that's another opportunity missed. An estate agent calls me, an investor calls me. I'm not tied to like an hour at lunch where I'm packing everything. In a way, I'm grateful to have had that situation for a bit, because I know how to make the most out of an hour lunch break. The danger is, well, I have like 5 hours at home before I'm coaching in the afternoon, and I chill. I've got to make sure I don't do that. But I'm a person who sets goals every day. It's quite late in this day now, but this is my last goal for the day, to record this bit, and I've done it. So as long as I'm goal setting, I should be making the most of this extra time, and you guys hopefully will see the results. And I'm just so excited about it. Don't put up a situation you're not happy with. I'll say it again. Swallow your pride. Trust your gut. If something's not going your way, don't put up with it. Okay. And for me, employment, or at least this type of employment, it's just not for me. Next one. I've learned some lessons from quitting this job. I've also learned some lessons about viewing properties. I've also learned some lessons about direct-to-vendor marketing. So they're going to be the next couple of videos on YouTube. I also have an Instagram where I share tips regularly. I also share deals regularly that you can invest in and co-source on with me. And I also have a Facebook Messenger group for if you're interested in the assisted sales and lease options and creative deals, which I share tips and tricks on. Yeah, it's a whole discussion in the Facebook Messenger group there. Got a few investors and co-sources. Everyone's welcome as long as you're interested in the creative strategies, which in my opinion are far superior to the old ways of doing things. Yeah, all my goals are done for the day. Great. I can go to bed.